Once again, good morning. Welcome to Thursday's edition of Paper Review. We do sincerely apologize for that mix-up. It was due to some technical error, and that has been overcome now. Welcome once again. It's Thursday, the 9th day in the month of November 2023. We have a couple of papers up for review this morning. I'm going to let you know how many of them: the Tribune, Daily Trust, Punch newspaper, Daily Sun, and The Nation. 5 papers up for review. My name is Alex Obunaya, and I am here with ever-present Comrade Efe Odomo. Good morning to you, Comrade.
Yeah, good morning. We're in the fray together, and we shall sail and also land together.
Exactly. Okay, without much ado, let's go straight to the dailies. And we're going to be kicking off with the Tribune newspaper, Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Peace accord for off-season polls. Seriousness, commitment of candidates in doubt. This is according to Abdul Salami. The full story can be found on page 14 of the Nigeria Tribune newspaper. Moving on, the Nigeria Tribune newspaper. After 151 days in detention, court admits Emefiele to bail. You can read up that story on page 11 of the Nigeria Tribune. FM&TV criticizes National Assembly over purchase of 160 million naira SUV for lawmakers. Details are on page 17 of the Nigeria Tribune newspaper. Above the masthead, Olubadan, Ladoja, Ibadan Obas hold advisory council meeting. It comes with a rider. I bear no grudge against anybody. Ladoja explains why he challenged Makinde others in court. You can read up that story on page 11. And on page 7 comes this one: why we cannot increase electricity tariff now, federal government. Okay, that means they have plans to increase electricity tariff. That's that from... Okay, before we move over to another story, one last story. Tinubu signs 2.17 trillion naira supplementary budget. That's on page 17 of the Nigeria Tribune. We move straight to another paper, Daily Trust newspaper. And Daily Trust newspaper is leading with the November 11th election in 3 states. After signing peace accord, Diri, Silva trade words over violence, arms stockpiling. No wonder. Abdul Salami said seriousness, commitment of candidates in doubt. Diri and Silva, after signing the peace accord, are trading words. It comes to the rider, opposition running mates. Ododo signed peace accord in Kogi. Accord not mere formality, Abdul Salami tells candidates. Signing peace sparked not enough police. You can read up that story on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. 4 airlines affected as unions bar flights in and out of Imo. That's on page 19. On page 9 comes this one. Despite outcry, Tinubu signs 2.17 trillion naira supplementary budget, and old banknotes remain legal tender. CBN. You can read up that story on page 11. There have been this panic withdrawals. CBN is saying old banknotes remain legal tender. Finally, from the Daily Trust, how Bello Matawale squandered over 1 billion naira for abandoned hotel services center. This is according to the Zamfara state government. He's been having it hot with the Zamfara state government lately. Okay, next paper up is the Punch newspaper. And of course, like other 2 papers we've looked at, the Punch newspaper is leading with the off-cycle governorship election in 3 states. And they've captioned their own: off-season polls, electronic collation illegal, says INEC. Police warn NLC. INEC says IREV not for resort collation. Labour leaders advise against intimidating voters. Uzodinma others absent at peace accord. Diri Silva clash. Imo workers banks shun strike. So much covered in this story. The full gist can be found on pages 2, 8 and 13. Obi faults Tinubu's 2.17 trillion naira supplementary budget. You want to know more? Turn to page 9. the Punch newspaper. UK police probe suicide of British-born Nigerian. Old bank notes remains legal tender, says CBN. Old bank notes remains legal tender, says CBN. I'm saying that twice for a reason. Federal government stops electricity tariff hike, insists on subsidy. Above the masthead of the Punch, NPAN returns Kabiru as president. Moa joins EXCO. And finally, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, this story is above the Punch newspaper. $5 billion debt. Federal government rules dwindling revenue. Reps condemn needless loans and contracts. Okay, that's that from the Punch newspaper. Let's look at the Daily Sun. Kuka exposes Buhari's ex-aide. That's the lead story on the front page. Kuka exposes Buhari's ex-aide, says former government officials telling shocking tales about ex-president. Imo election, poll favors Governor Uzodinma to win by 68%, other parties 32. You can read up that story on page 28 of the Daily Sun. Nigeria discovers new crude oil grade. Reps move to probe shortfalls in oil revenue. That story is on pages 2 and 8 of the Sun newspaper. Kogi Guba APC Ododo rides high. NPAN elects new ESCO, returns Yusuf as chairman. And okay, that's that from the Daily Sun. Finally, on this segment, the Nation newspaper. Senate House agreement raise student loan to 10 billion naira. It comes with a rider. Yacht item dropped as President signs 2.17 trillion naira supplementary budget. Senate launches probe. As a lead story on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Emefiele out of custody after securing bail. Banker booed in court. You can read up that story on page 4. Okay, that reminds me of Super Eagles. When they're not playing well, they get booed by the supporters. I know Comrade Omo knows about that too. Yeah. Okay, Power Minister threatens discos, GenCos with license revocation. And finally, NLC strike fails to hold in Imo. Offices open, airport in operation, power cut enters day 7. Okay, that's that for this segment. Now, we're going to move straight to the next segment of this program, which is to bring in Comrade Ife-Odomo and, of course, take your calls for you to give us your thoughts on any of these stories or headlines that we have reeled out that may probably interest you. But while we wait for the calls to come in, Comrade Ife-Odomo, you've seen the lineup of headlines rolled out from the Tribune, the Daily Trusts. We have Sun, we have Nation, and then we have which one again? Okay, we have the Tribune and Daily Trust, yes. So let's start with the election. It's a big one. You know, Abdul Salam is saying, yes, these guys signed their accord yesterday. But moments after signing their accord, in Rivers State, Diri and Silva are, engaged in war of words, accusing each other of stockpiling arms. And then even in Kogi State, all is not well in Kogi State because one hand is pointing accusing finger at Kogi State Governor who wants to hand over to his man, Ododo. And in Imo State, of course, we know what's happening in Imo State. So is there any need for that peace accord?
Well, thank you. We're signing peace accord not today.
True.
I'm not seeing the workability of anyone. You see? There's one thing to sign an accord, it's another thing to follow. When we were still young in those days and growing up, somebody said the politicians promised to do a job, but they did not promise to keep that promise. Now you have signed the peace accord. Will all the supporters, did they sign the peace accord? The peace accord was just signed by the gladiators. That is the three. I think there are even 3 or 4 major contestants in Kogi that since will be. The accord does not go in any way in deterring them. When you sign an accord and you are stockpiling arms, you are preventing people from exercising their you're disenfranchising some people. What is the accord going to be for? The best thing is let them go and vote, come back and whatever the result is. Because all the accords have been signing, people still go to court. Nobody is satisfied with the result of the election. So why signing the accord? The accord means whether it is good or it is in your favor or not, you will accept the decision. But how many people have accepted the decision right from the time we started voting in this country? There have always been court cases. The court will remove some, reinstate some, cancel some, and so on and so forth. So I don't see any reason at all if it is a peace accord. It was only Goodluck Jonathan that I respected that issue, because when he lost the election, he came out and before the final result were announced, he was already congratulating the winner, who was Muhammadu Buhari. If we can go that line, then it's okay by all of us. Otherwise, I don't see any reason in this peace accord they are signing.
Okay, we can take more calls. We can take calls now. The numbers are 08022 931 931 in case you're listening via your radio. 08022 931 931 081. Hi, good morning to you. 081 888 931. Yes, good morning, sir. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, Mr. Friday.
Mr. Friday.
Yes.
Thanks for calling on the Thursday.
Sir. Yeah. Old Naira note. Old Naira note to remain legal tender. I think that is a good one from the CBN.
True.
I want to say that they remove a sort of high blood pressure from Nigeria because that has created a sort of tension in our heart, in our body, because of what we passed through during the Emefiele tenure. Emefiele used that to frustrate Nigeria and to plug this country into unnecessary mess. I think because I want to say that not every message when your guy telling you now you go. So Emefiele did not do well. So we thank this new government, new CBN for putting the old Naira note because he told us during the stand that he bought 1,000 Naira note. Now the same 1,000 Naira note now we see the issue today. So that is fallacy from the pit of hair. So let us be sincere with our truth.
Thank you so much, Friday. I was going to ask you to react to that. You know, Emefiele was just doing
his master's bidding.
The bidding of his master.
You cannot blame the man.
But everybody seems to be hitting hard on him now.
Yes, because that is how the country is. If you are centered on an island, if you succeed, people will hail you. But if you don't, they will continue hammering you. When this issue came up, we discussed that matter on this studio. Definitely, if a leper, a cripple, is beating the band very seriously and no mistakes along the bush path, go and look behind him, somebody is holding his hands. Emefiele couldn't have done what he did without the backing of the president. They said, Mr. President. Because then we do see them on the screen when he visits the president and they will have handshake. He will explain everything to the
president. Give him feedback.
Yes. So for them to not start hammering on Emefiele, I think it is a wrong issue. That actually, I agree with Mr. Friday that it's not every message that your boss sent you that you will accept to go. But that is a dereliction of duty.
That means you have to resign.
Yes, that's a dereliction of duty. You are not being loyal. If your boss says do this and do that, then you say no, you cannot do it. You are not being loyal. You are appointed. Even if you are elected, you can be removed. In the fiat, the man can be removed from office. So I don't see any reason why. Excuse me.
Sorry about that.
Why they should blame the exchequer? He reports to the presidency. There is a financial control. There is the minister of finance. Everybody is there. Did anybody go against him when these things were going on? Was it stopped? So the ball stops on the table. As a leader, if your government does well, you will be praised. If your government does badly, you also take the blame. So they should not start apportioning blame when it comes to this level.
Okay, let's take this call. Please turn down the volume on your radio set. Good morning to you.
Hello?
Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, sir. This is the boy I have from Moscow.
Okay, go ahead.
Old bank notes remain legal tender. Yeah, that's a very good point because it shows that our POS operators are trying to fleece us. And that's the good news. Honestly, I don't think that's why we have got a new design. And the bank said that they're going to extend it to more than the same bank, which was the deadline before. And obviously, they said that they were going to bring contact on that. Very good news. And again, off-seasons elections, electronic collation of results illegal. I don't understand what that means by it. Because it's true that they will permit them to make sure that all of them are going to be transmitted electrically. So why do you say that it's illegal? I don't understand. Please, the electrical construction is why people hang up there in all these things. Then again, Obi forced Tinubu to submit this project. Yes, it's a very good fault. I think Obi should be acting as an opposition leader now. I like this. We need an opposition leader. Not just only let's start. Yes.
Okay. We may have to allow you go. Thank you so much. The Punch newspaper, he took that from the Punch newspaper. Off-season polls, electronic collation illegal. You want to talk us through this? I
don't understand why they said it's legal. Was it not approved by the system? Because it's a constitutional matter. So I don't know where they came from that the thing is illegal overnight. Does it mean that when they use it in the presidential, the governorship, and the other elections, they were illegally done? So if it is illegal, are they going to cancel the elections they have used it to conduct? Who is interpreting it that it is illegal? Is it the courts or somebody that just woke up from the slumber and said it is illegal?
Okay. I guess we may have to leave it at that. I have just been signaled that it's time for us to go. But note this, that no panic withdrawal. The currency remains legal tender even after December 31st. And so, like the last caller said, POS operators do not extort or do not extort Nigerians, please. Okay, thank you so much for being part of the program. I want to thank those who made this program also a success. Thank you so much, comrade, for coming on the program. Thank you to Vanguard Newspapers for picking up the bills. And of course, thank you to myself too for being here. My name is Alex Obunaya. Let's do this again tomorrow. Good morning.